Christmas pick a card reading, but we're going to be looking at 2023, and we're going to be seeing how you will seem, look, develop, and grow in the eyes of those around you. So what are people going to be thinking of you in 2023? What will they be noticing in you? And yeah, so this could be quite an interesting reading, I think. It was actually suggested to me by vidIQ. And I was like, that's a good suggestion. So I decided to do it. Anyway, we have 4 different groups to choose from. Of course, pick-a cards are all about exercising our own intuition as we, kind of try to get the message that matches our energy and our outcome. So I do encourage you to take a moment if you can and see where you're feeling drawn. We have 4 groups, obviously, as you can see, and we have the number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have dough on my finger now. I was making pies earlier. Anyway, so yeah, go ahead and make your choice, make your selection, and you'll find the timestamps down below. Of course, if you choose group number 1, you'll go to that timestamp. Group number 2, you'll go to that timestamp, so you can get right to your message and you don't have to listen to all of the others, right? I also want to say a big thank you to Emily. So Emily said, Happy New Year, Lisa. Hope it's filled with blessings and success, with love, from Emily. And she had sent the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. Thank you so much. This is such a shiny, beautiful deck. Now, I had set the cards up before this came, so I did not get to incorporate them into the reading, but I will. I will. I'm going to live shuffle. So let's go ahead and get started, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 1 here with this purple potion, this is going to be a reading. So let's see, how are you going to grow, develop, look in the eyes of those around you, whether they're old or new? How are you going to be looking to others in the year of 2023? So let's go on and see. Oh my goodness. Okay, so for tarot, I want to kind of start there. We have the 8 of Pentacles. And we have the 9 of Pentacles. So there's definitely a leveling up of growth, right? Because we have the 8 and then the 9. We also have infinite abundance. You're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. We also have the Dragon, power and strength. That's number 24. So we have 8, 9, 24. And then we have the card of integrity. And this says oak, ivy, sage. Let's see, rowan, blossom, almond blossom actually, and then elder tree, holly, oak, ivy. Oh, so that's very interesting here as well. So living with integrity. I feel as if you are somebody that many feel that they can trust, is one thing I do feel. I feel as if there's something that's deeply moral and faithful about you. It's like they can sense the ones around you that are kind of coming into your life. I feel like that there are many who believe that you have integrity. They trust you and they find you to be a reliable person. And perhaps they will see you act in integrity in your own life, of course, too, right? Now, the other thing I was going to say is that it feels as if there's a lot of career growth, okay? And some of you may be really leveling up in terms of your career. I really believe it, because of course the 8 of Pentacles, this can talk about studying. So some of you might be studying for something higher, you know what I mean? Like you might be going back to school, or you might be improving your knowledge in some way. So there can be the idea of studying, whether it's as an apprentice or in a proper, setting of university or something like that, or some kind of a trade school or something. But this can also talk about your practical efforts really paying off. And there really seems to be a lot of people around you that think you are succeeding in life, that you are perhaps wealthy. I want to say that some of you actually, especially for those of you that are new to work, as an example, or you haven't had the real job that you've been looking for, especially, some of you might actually be doing that as well. You may be kind of stepping into your first, big person job, big adult job. There we go, is what I meant. And but for not all of you, obviously. But this can talk about, again, acquiring also a new skill. Some of you might actually be, doing something new. And this could be something related to a hobby that ends up paying off. Or again, it could just be something you've been working on for a long time. Maybe you've been studying something for a long time and you really start to see it pay off, okay? Now, the Knight of Pentacles to me is all about pleasure. And it can talk about, having, for instance, a lot more financial abundance, especially with the infinite abundance. But it feels as if you are just all around abundant. And you seem quite confident and very individualistic as well in the way that you're, kind of how other people are seeing you, as like that you have some unique qualities. And also this can be like sexy in some ways. The Nine of Pentacles actually kind of has that connotation of being kind of sexual, sensual, that sort of thing, and attractive and charismatic. So I want to say that it's like you are able to cast a spell on certain people. And I know some of you might be like, Lisa, no. And you know what? Just accept it, because that's how people are going to be seeing you. This is really a year in which your attractability is like quite high. Like, I don't know, you guys are just in that, and oftentimes that has to go back to confidence. You know what I mean? It's like confidence can really make us appear more, and maybe you're making certain steps towards your appearance, changing things up, or, putting more care into that in some way or another. But yeah, it feels as if there's something about you that really just comes off as, inviting and interesting, dynamic, individualistic, like I had mentioned, and attractive. And we also have, again, honor and morality with integrity, as well as power and strength. So it feels as if you're acting in a way that is aligned with your morals in some way. So some of you may be doing things that are kind of, you might be standing up for something in your life, or acting upon these things, or these morals, or these like sort of, how to say, moral compass. That's what I want to say. Having like a moral compass. So that could be like having integrity with yourself by leaving certain, negative things behind and acting upon ways that are more beneficial to your path. That's another way of looking at it. But of course, to me, this just really tells me that people are looking to you for guidance, because you are a source of integrity and they know you're a good person, and that you're usually guided by your values, and you come at people with an honest heart, and you're not afraid to back down. That's another thing that I'm really getting. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like you're not afraid to back down, and there's results from that. You know what I'm saying? How are people seeing them, those in their life, seeing them in 2023? And it feels like you guys are acting on, with purpose. Yeah, there's definitely a warmth to you. There's a warmth in your face, it feels like you're full of smiles, or it's like just a radiant kind of energy. Especially like, again, also we see that sun card with the child. And so there's like an innocence, there's an exuberance, there's a good light feeling. And I think that people will enjoy being around you, because you kind of lift their spirits. You are encouraging, I would say, as well. Like there's a lot of encouraging vibes here in this as well. And then the Wheel of Fortune, of course, could be like, you could be seen as a bit risky. You might be taking certain risks. But again, this to me feels like your luck turning around. If you feel like your luck's not been good, I want to say that people see you as having more fortune in your life, okay? And again, the sun could be acting upon creativity. This is often associated with the artist, or the person who's quite imaginative and able to channel wealth, of ideas through, productive actions. And of course, this could talk about following that true path as well. And that's kind of funny, because those two cards talk about following your true path, your divine path. And again, we have the divine light purpose up here too. So it's like people are admiring the fact that you're taking control and you're really going after it. They feel like you are aligned to what you're doing in some way. And like, as if you're talented, you deserve it, And there's also this idea of sharing your success and being generous, acting with integrity. You're not the person who's cutting other people down in 2023. You're the one who's lifting them up, who doesn't, criticize or belittle others around you, but you're lifting them up, in positive thought and positive word. And that goes, that makes you seem like, and it's like in their eye, in people's eyes around you, it's like they see you as somebody who's kind and who isn't afraid to share, and kind of help others around you and kind of share that spotlight as an example. And that's the thing. It's like you may also be meeting some old friends this year is one thing I was going to say, sorry. But yeah, this is sort of like non-manipulative, very like open and honest, and there's just this innocence to you, and that's how people are going to be seeing you. It's like maybe you're finally doing something you want to be doing, or you finally feel happy in some way, or maybe if you felt happy last year, it just continues. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be that you were unhappy. But the Wheel of Fortune can indicate like a really lucky thing happening too. So for some of you, you may actually find that there's like some mega luck coming your way in 2023 that people are just going to be like, whoa, okay, that was lucky. That was awesome. They deserved it. And that's kind of the thing. I feel like a lot of people will be saying, you guys deserve that. You deserve that happiness. You deserve that luck. It's almost like somebody does a scratch ticket, wins, $1,000, and like, dang. Instead of saying, I wish that were me, it's like, wow, so-and-so really deserved it. And that's how people would kind of be perceiving you, as if you've worked hard for where you're at and you deserve what you've gotten. You know what I mean? And of course, there can be a lot of originality and, like I said, autonomy, independence. There's just this good vibe to you. And this is not like, one thing I will say is that you don't stay down for long. Even if you have, of course, we'll have days where we're off or we may not be at our best. But the Wheel of Fortune always shows that we bounce right back. We don't stay in lengthy depression. We don't sit there and whine and cry for ourselves. We just sort of like pick ourselves back up and we're like, oh, okay, what's next? You know what I mean? And it's not really about resentment. Again, or quarrels. It's just like I move on from these things. I don't get brought down by these things. And in fact, actually, there may be times like in the workplace or in your life, maybe it's your friendship group, your family, where you're just like, you know what? I don't want to be involved in the drama. And you're just like, I'm not getting involved because it just brings me down. And I'm just going to keep on moving forward. And you know what I mean? Like, and just kind of live my life. And there's that encouragement there for others as well, I think, too, to also move on in their life. Yeah, it's like you won't be placing heavy burdens on people. You won't be trying to, weigh them down with your problems. Not that that's a wrong thing or anything like that. I don't mean to make that sound like as if it's wrong, because of course we need times where we'll talk, but it just feels that there's something light about you. And hopefully this will also kind of point to the fact that you won't have much drama, or it won't be such a tense, time, this year. It's going to be more lighthearted and you're feeling better and you're feeling good. And that definitely radiates off of you. There's a lot of like radiating qualities is where you're just, like I said, radiating that warmth and friendliness and that kindness. And it makes people, respect you and feel drawn to you as well. It's not in a sense of like, how like Joey in Friends was kind of portrayed as like this sort of funny, happy one, but he's kind of like always kind of considered dumb. You know what I mean? Like, they always do that in shows, like, where they have to make one, like, kind of the ditzy, kind of like Phoebe, too. But that's not how you're being looked at. It's not, I used to have people like that when I was younger kind of think I was ditzy. And it's not that. It's like you're sharp and you're smart, and it's not like people are looking at it, you're like, oh, how she's so funny, or he's so funny, or like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, hopefully I'm getting that across. It's not that kind of thing where you're just happy and go lucky and you don't have any depth. And not to say that Phoebe and Joey didn't have any depth in the show, but they definitely were kind of having personalities put upon them that were, made them sort of detached from everything. And I'm not saying that's the way you are, because I do feel like there's a lot of people coming to you for guidance, because you do have a lot of strength and knowledge within you. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It's not just sort of like, because I think in Friends, people wouldn't have gone to like necessarily Joey for like serious advice, right? They go to like someone like, Monica, or, I don't know, whoever, Chandler or something. I don't know. Any one of them, probably, but Joey and PP, to be honest. And, but that's not the thing. I feel like a lot of people will be drawn to you because, and there's just like a lot of power moves that I feel like are being made. It's almost like, how'd you get there? As well, it's like people are trying to probe your mind, like, how did you get past that, or how did you create this, or how did you do this? Yeah, it's like in your, like, I think you'll be asked a few times to kind of share your wisdom, give advice and stuff like that too. But anyways, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. I really do hope that you enjoy this reading. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you stick around. And if you want, like the video, because giving me a thumbs up knows you like, lets me know, that you like the topic. It's Mercury retrograde, my mouth. But it lets me know that you like the topic and you'd like to see something similar in the future. And if you want a personal reading with me, those are on Etsy, where you can purchase astrology readings and tarot readings. I'll probably be doing another astrology sale shortly, so keep an eye out. I finally caught up on all the ones from my previous sale. That took a minute. I might keep them more limited if I do another sale, though. But anyway, yeah, so let's go ahead and say goodbye for now. Ta-ta for now. And we'll see you next time, okay? Take care. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 2 here with this love potion number 9, that's what I want to say when I see it. Let's go ahead and get started on your reading. So I'm just going to reapply, and let's see, how are people going to be seeing you in the year of 2023? What will they be noticing about you? So we do have that love potion, so anyway, we have light and love. Okay, well, there we go, some love potion. Your purpose is to bring divine healing, light, and love to this world. So I want to say right off the bat, we have a very ethereal, loving presence that you exude to others around you. I feel as if there's a healing presence in you that really can affect a lot of those around you more than you'll ever know. Perhaps you'll be called upon to comfort and to help others. Not to say that you have to do it where you feel uncomfortable. I know sometimes people come to me and then they'll be like, oh, I don't want to, I'm always giving to other people. Well, I think that, you don't have to give to other people to even radiate this energy if you're uncomfortable with that. You know what I mean? Like if you are tired of like always being the one who gives, as an example, well, it may be that you just exude that energy, as kind of like an aura that people are picking up on. But yeah, your purpose is to bring divine healing, light, and love to this world. We also have the 10 of chalices. Well, you can't get much better than that, can you? And then we have the Lady and the Lord. We also have the Fire Fairy, creative action and optimism. And the final oracle card is rebirth. Some of you might be rebirthing a partnership or a relationship in your life, I will say. Especially, I feel like, honestly, if you are divorced or in separation or really wanting to get back with someone, there may be you kind of renewing that. Or maybe some of you are healing, a previously broken relationship in some way. I think this would be something that you would want. So if you're like, no way, Lisa, that's not me, well, then you're probably having someone new in your life, okay? This could feel as if there is a sense of renewal in your life. And I think that you may find also the rebirth of old ideas, like partnering up with old ideas and old things that used to make you happy. Because we do have that Fire Fairy with optimism and creative action. I want to say that there's a lot of creativity in your life. Like you are really exuding a lot of creative energy, and people are going to be seeing you as a very creative person. You may be quite busy as well. You might be getting a lot done. You may be acting upon passion and, that sort of thing. So I would definitely say that they see you as creative. Oh, I love it. For some, they could be seeing you as traveling as well, because we have the 6 of Swords, which often denotes traveling. So some of you might be traveling and going somewhere very interesting in this year. And people are going to notice that and be like, oh my goodness, look at them traveling and going somewhere new. But this also can talk about moving forward in your life in a happier direction, right? There's a happier aspect to this Six of Swords, because one is about to kind of leave the storm and pass it and get out of it, right? Yeah, it's like you're making headway in your life. So I feel like you're actually going to be associated a lot though with some sort of romantic relationship. So this could be that if you're single, you find the one, or you find a special person. For some of you, you're getting married, or they're just seeing your relationship. It might be like a lot of people perceive your current relationship as happy, like meant to be, guided by something higher. It's kind of like, I get those statements, I think, quite often about my husband and I, where people will be like, oh, you guys are such a cute couple and stuff. I just had that at New Year. We went to a hotel for New Year's Eve, and the woman's like, oh, I hope you're married to this guy. He's funny. And I'm like, oh yeah, we've been together 20 years this year, and we've been married 18. And yeah, it was just like, she's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And she was just kind of like, you guys are such a cute couple and stuff like that. And that's the vibe I get around you. So you may be connecting with somebody where, others are really, seeing a happy relationship in your life. Like I said, for some of you, this could be repairing. But this could also be like where you are feeling renewed within yourself and they can see it. Like if you were kind of single, bored, maybe not in the best place in the last year, you know what I mean? It's like you're back. And there might be this energy of you're back, or he's back, or she's back, or just in your life, like sort of like you're back to normal. Or especially if you felt off in the past year, it's kind of like you're full of energy, you're full of fire, you're full of excitement, and you're just radiating, like I said, this very strong positive energy. And I feel like you're going to be creating physical things that are quite admirable. Whether it's like you start making soap, or you start, sewing something, or you start writing something. Maybe you guys are writing something. For some of you, this may be that you're writers or communicators, and for others of you, you make physical items. I feel like that there's a duality here. So you're going to be associated a lot, and maybe for some of you, it'll be that you're more active on social media or something like that. And they see you, people see you there, and they're like, oh wow, they have so many interesting things to say. With a rebirth card, this can talk about transformation, victory, and completion, right? And it says here, when the rebirth card appears, some kind of transformation is about to take place, and you're about to enter a brand new phase in life. Rebirth promises victory over a challenge, and with it, you become wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. This card has similarities to the death card in the tarot, for it is the card of endings and beginnings and of letting go. So we see major changes in your life, and fresh beginnings here with the pages, right? We definitely do. And that's what I'm seeing. It's like you are, and you know what I feel like as well, what I really get is like what you've spoken about, you're acting on. I feel like last year you guys have spoken about certain things. Maybe you kind of slipped out, I want to do this, or maybe you even said it a lot, I'm going to do this, I have this plan, that idea, I want to do this thing, that thing, but maybe you didn't get anything done. Or you didn't get everything done. But it's like this year is the year of proof, where you show, the people around you that you're not just talking. You know what I mean? That you're making it, you're doing it, you're creating it. And I just feel like there's just such a good vibe to you, to be honest. Like there's just, like this wonderful, like I said, it's like you feel good to be around. And of course, the Ten of Cups, or chalices in this deck actually, can talk about, having a very heartwarming aspect to you. And just like seeing you as a happy person. This is really like, it's really positive. It's a very uplifting reading. And I think you're going to be very uplifting to others around you. There could be like a period of study on something, but then you kind of move forward and you start taking actions as well. So even if last year it wasn't like you had that idea It could be that this year you have an idea and you kind of progress it, and then suddenly you're showing a physical product. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm seeing. And there's a lot of potential, perhaps even financial, material abundance and potential in this idea. This also can talk about people having strong emotional ties, and you may notice that there are certain people that feel very bonded to you as a friend, as a person as well. Because even with the lovers, to me, that can kind of make me feel that way. And again, positive communication. And you listen to others is another thing I get. There's a good balance between listening and saying. It's like a perfect balance. Yeah. So that's what I'm seeing, you guys. I really think this is a positive reading, like I mentioned, because I don't see anything that would make me think that people see you as a difficult person. It's just all very positive and happy. We also have December 23rd and November 25th. Well, it's November 25th to December 23rd. So those dates could be somehow important to some of you. We have the 10, the 6 as well. 2 6s, in fact. And yeah. Now, oh, and then the number 30 too. So that is what I'm just going to stop here, because I think I've gotten all the messages out of this that I can possibly get. But I really do feel like people like looking at you and seeing a partnership of some kind, like a happy relationship, as I mentioned, but also a lot of creative action on your front, and a lot of good vibes, optimism, and again, showing the proof of certain ideas, thoughts, and perhaps even things you've studied. If you've studied something, it may be that you're progressing on towards the actual job as well, or, kind of stepping up in some way materially. Or starting over materially as well. Some of you might be, starting new jobs this year, or starting new projects, or, putting out new things that are, I think very worthy in their eyes and very admirable. Anyway, so that is what I'm seeing. If you enjoyed this reading, I'd love it if you gave me a thumbs up. It lets me know you liked the video and the topic, and then I'm more likely to do something like this in the future. But also, I'd love it if you subscribed if you haven't, because then you can get more, more videos from me. If you notice my videos haven't been popping up very well, you can always, re-click the notification button to make sure that you're getting notified. And I think sometimes every once in a while it's a good idea to refresh those, because they do kind of, I don't know, it seems like they stopped working. I have it a lot with certain readers, and then I get really disappointed because I want to see them. So sometimes I have to remember them manually. And sometimes I'm forgetful, so that's not always perfect. Something I'll be like, it's a month, and I'm like, where's so-and-so? I haven't seen them upload in a while. They'll hit my brain, and then I'll go and look, and they had uploads, and I just never got notified. So always be careful with that. Anyway, I wish you the very, very best. Lots of beautiful blessings in your life. I hope are coming to you over this coming year, and take care, okay? Bye-bye. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 3 here with this red potion, let's get started on your reading. So how are you seen by those around you as you kind of go through the year? How are people looking at you? What are they observing in you? What changes will they see in you? Those are the kind of questions we're going to be asking in this. And we've got the card of leadership. Take charge of the situation. Ooh, okay, so you're definitely a leader in your life. We have justice. Your career brings fairness and protection to others who need your help. Now, it may not always be in career here. We'll talk about it in a minute. We have the Knight of Wands and the Crone. I feel like there will be certain circumstances that happen this year that would normally test people's patience, but you actually remain very grounded and calm. It's like there's a song. Maybe it's not as sad as this song, but there's a song called I Am a Rock by Simon and Garfunkel, and it's kind of like, it's a little bit like that, but not as melancholy, I suppose, I would say. You know what I mean? Because that song is a bit on the melancholy side. I think it's a little bit sad. And anyway, but there's this sense of wisdom. I also feel for a lot of you, there's a lot of maturity that's developing in a much different way. Perhaps those that knew you maybe when you were younger, as an example, you meet again and they find you to be full of wisdom, a totally different personality perhaps that they would have met when you were younger. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a big thing. I feel like some of you may be seeing people at a much later stage in life. Like it's been, 5 years, it's been 10 years, 15 years maybe even, 20 for some of you. And that's, it comes as quite, a surprise at how much you've, grown, and maybe perhaps how, full of wisdom you are, and there's this that kind of vibration to you. The other thing I want to say here is that I do feel, like I said, that there will be people that will see you encounter situations that would piss them off or frustrate them, and you handle them kind of calmly. And I do feel like, especially previously, if you were quite like an active person, perhaps you jumped on things without thinking, or kind of like too quickly. It's like you're no longer doing that. And for some people, they may see a different side of you where you're much more detached than you maybe once were. It's like you're able to kind of control your impulses. And that's another thing. It's that there may be this idea of you developing a control over your impulses and desires in some way. But it's not like you're depriving yourself. It's sort of like you've mastered that part where you're like, okay, it's not urgent, it's fine. The other thing, what was I wanted to say? There was another thing I wanted to say here with the crone as well. You may also be a very guiding force to some young people as well, by the way. You may be put in positions of leadership, and if so, then you're definitely seen as a benevolent leader, right? Now, this also is more of an extroverted card, the crone. So I do feel like that there is still extroversion as well. And the thing about the crone is that, and the strength card in general, is it's not a card that really depicts somebody who had the easiest time. In fact, actually, oftentimes there have been crises and, challenges, right? But one faced them with determination. And so again, you may seem quite determined in what you're doing. It's like you're a leader in some way of your life. I really do feel that. And you may actually overcome certain laws as well, or go through legal paperwork or legal advancements in the next year as well. That's another thing that I think for some of you might be the case. Let's see what else. We also have movement, and we also have clarity. I feel like a lot of you actually might have people that come to you for guidance about how to move forward. It's almost like they feel like you have clarity in some way. Of course, this could mean that you're an intuitive. Maybe some of you are readers, perhaps, and you're able to guide people in some way to offer them clarity as well. And some of you also may be talking a lot about essential oils or herbs in some way as well, I'm getting, or how to incorporate herbs in some way too. Of course, this could also indicate that you have this natural side to you, or you kind of, for some of you, it just feels like some of you might have some good remedies or something, or you discover some good remedies that you share with others. But there's a lot of compassion here that I feel like people feel you have, especially if you are in leadership positions. It's like you are put into a compassionate role by other people. Like they feel like you're a compassionate leader. And also this can talk about loyalty as well. Loyalty through all the changes that occur. Let me see what else comes through. I'm going to put these up here. There we go. Okay. So, Spirit Guides, how will people see them? People be thinking, wait. Oh my goodness. And we have the Page of Swords as well as the Ace of Swords. This is such a shiny, beautiful deck. Thank you, Emily. This is gorgeous. Well, you're certainly cutting through bullshit. That's what I want to say. And that's another thing. It's not reactive. It's done in a way that when people encounter you, if they do kind of pull some bullshit, it's like you won't put up with it very well. You'll just sort of just, but it doesn't feel as if you fight back. You just sort of pull away and you're just like, okay, and you realign your energy. You just move in new directions. And I feel like you have a lot of clarity. You know what I mean about these things. Like it's like you can see through a lot of stuff, and then it's like you're able to intellectually remove yourself. You know what I mean? By your intellect, by your logic, it's like you're sort of seeing things in that way where it's like, okay, I see what's going on here, and I really just, it's not for me. You know what I mean? But it's not dramatic, maybe as it once might have been, or it might not feel even as dramatic to you, or you know what I mean. There's not like a whole lot of drama that comes along with this, in my viewpoint here. Like, and that's the thing. It's sort of like you're calm, cool, and collected about the way you kind of proceed in life, and you know, in some ways that may be a lot different than you've acted in the past, or, and, you know, anyway. Or maybe what they've encountered in the past with other people, right? It doesn't even have to be like you acted that way, you know, maybe a little bit more. And the other thing I want to say is that you're acting and you're dedicated, you're loyal to your endeavors and to your desires. That's another thing. It's like you're taking leadership, and you are directing the course of your life. You're moving it in a way that is aligned with what you want, right? And I want to say as well is that this clarity card can talk about uh, protection against self-doubt. And I want to say that you yourself may not come off as doubtful. Maybe you guys have gained certain confidences in your life and in your personality and in your belief in yourself. And that's a big thing. You come off quite confident and knowledgeable, and people look to you as a leader. Okay, that's the thing. You're going to be attracting a lot of people who look to you as a leader, whether you're a teacher, maybe it's at work and they're just newer people underneath you or around you, or it's like the people in your life, they see you make changes. It's kind of like, you know, I work like at a gym as an example part-time, and we have like some very young people. There's in fact like one girl who comes in, she's like 16. That girl's buff, like she's crazy. She goes to the gym every day. She's like a leader to me in the gym. I don't know shit about the gym. You know what I mean? I can get on a treadmill and I can do certain things, obviously, and I've been to yoga classes and stuff like that, but like I wouldn't say that I know what she does. And she can like do all those weights and like all kinds of different things that I don't even know how those doohickeys work, you know what I mean? And it's like for her, she has that leadership, and so I feel like it's like somehow you're proving certain skills. Like she's proved her skill at the gym, because if you saw what she looked like, you'd be like, dang. You know what I mean? She's like cool. And anyway, but that's the thing. It's like you don't have to be, no matter what your rank is in life, what your age, whatever, it feels as if you have accomplishments that people are looking to you as a leader, and they're thinking that's, you know, they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And there can be movement going on in your life. You may be moving away. You may be moving somewhere new. You may be traveling or doing things that are very active. There feels like there's a lot of activity. This is not a year of complacency, really. I feel like if you do go through moments of like lulls, which are natural through the seasons, you know, like Cancer season, I tend to get sick like almost every stinking time. Like this past year I got freaking COVID. But no, it's like really common. I've noticed it for years just tracking my transits, that June in particular, towards the end of June, is always when I get sick. And of course, you know, 12th house, it's moving through there. For the 6th house, when it's in Capricorn and it's kind of like challenging me, it's more like I have to work a lot. I don't get sick. Well, maybe I'll get headaches and stuff, but usually it's more like work oriented. But 6th house, or the 12th house for me, when I have those transits with Cancer, it's always like I get sick and I have to take a break, and that's fine. And that's like the thing. You might have moments where, you know, you take a break or you slow down, but it's like you cut through that really quickly. Like it doesn't last forever. You kind of keep on moving. Do you know what I mean? So you only take like breaks. You know what I mean? And this card is an omen for change for the better. So I want to say that, like, obviously you're improving in the eyes of those around you in a lot of ways, and your life is improving, you know, as well. And people notice it. They take notice of it. They notice it. And the other thing I want to say is that you may be full of truth. and good ideas as well. I feel like there may be certain words that you will say to people over this year that are really going to spark and get their attention. It's almost like you will be called at certain points to get people to wake up, is what I feel. Or you will like kind of wake certain people up with what you say. And what's so funny is that in the book on the Ace of Swords, in my book that I like a lot, it mentions here that you may have felt sad or bereft for a while, yet you will sense the excitement of change and fresh beginnings. I just looked at it just to pick it up. And exactly, clarity will emerge from this confusing phase. And what does it say right here? Clarity. And people might know where they stand with you. You may make yourself more clear to other people around you as well, is something I would say. But it feels like you're moving with a sense of purpose. And you know what you want. And people notice that. They admire that in you. And it also, I think, inspires them as well. So, with that being said, you guys, that's your reading. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and this was informative and helpful. If you did like it, leave me a thumbs up so I know, because when I see thumbs up, then I know that people like the reading, and I'm more likely to do topics like that in the future, obviously, if I feel like it's well received. Now, of course, if you want to subscribe if you haven't already, I'd love to have you stick around. But anyway, if you want a personal reading with me, you can do that through my Etsy store, which is linked in the description box. Thank you all for your kindness, your support, through your comments. For those of you that have gone on my wish list recently, Emily, I'm talking to you. She got me this, if you didn't see it in the intro. And I really do appreciate everything that you guys give back. Like I said, whether it's a comment, which is free, and it means a lot to me to read your comments. And for those of you that go, and go to my wish list, or you donate through the tip button up above, it's all appreciated very much. And thank you guys, okay? So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next reading. Hello, my friends. So you chose group number 4, this last bottle. This is your reading. I really do like this bottle. Isn't it beautiful? I think it's got a beautiful color to it. Anyway, that's the one. Let's get started and see. So how are people going to be seeing you in this year ahead? I guess you could say this year ahead. How will people be seeing you, whether they're new in your life, or what's kind of the aura that you're, exuding. There we go. Wow, this Mercury retrograde's been kicking my butt with how I talk. I've had quite the challenges with it. I don't know, has anyone else? It's been really getting me. But of course, it's been actually hitting. What's actually just been hitting? I think it's going to hit my moon, but through a square. But I don't know. It's been really messing with my speech. Anyway, we have school here. So the answer that you're seeking involves going to school. Well, you guys, people might see you as a student or as somebody who's learning. Maybe for some of you, you are working in a school, you know what I mean, as a teacher, or you are teaching others as well. But there's something here about school, okay? So there's that. We also have builder. You may be creating physical items this year and really building something. Maybe it's building your own little empire, or maybe you are physically building a home or building something new, and people are like, whoa, you know what I mean? It could be like the person, if you decide to like refurbish something or rebuild something or fix something, there's that too. But we also have the author card. So this one had 3 of you. For you guys got 3 cards that came out for your reading. So I thought that was interesting. 3 different cards. So I kind of wonder if more people might be drawn to this, or perhaps you guys are just multi-talented. We have author. So you have a book inside of you that wishes to be expressed. Make the time to write it. Well, shoot. I kind of wonder if some of you might publish something, or you're known to be an author, or people are seeing you as a writer, as an author, as somebody who's published something. So, goodness gracious, that could be really good news for some of you, and that might be the encouragement that you need to hear, hopefully. We have the High Priestess here, as well as the 4 of Chalices, and the Harvest. So, you are seen as somebody who is definitely an intuitive, because we have the High Priestess and we have the Lady of the Lake. as well. And I do think of her as kind of an intuitive. We have the bee here as well. And patience. Good things come to those that wait. One thing I want to say is that people may notice that you've been patient in certain aspects of your life, and it seems like you are having some sort of results come through. Now we have April 15th through May 12th. So I don't know if these dates, in between, maybe you're born in those dates or something significant happens around that time in your life. But yeah, April 15th to May 12th. So yeah, it feels as if people around you are seeing you. Some of you might be writing a nonfiction book or doing nonfiction work where you're teaching something. That's one thing. And so you may be looked at as an expert, as somebody who is building their knowledge even. But I still feel as if there is some sort of physical item being built by you in this year. Whether it's, you create, like I said, a bookcase, or you do what I do, like make a, 1 second. Let me get it. Let me get it and show you. But like make a quilt. See my quilt? I don't know if you can see the butterfly design. See? Yeah. So I made the big quilt. It's huge, so I can't even show it to you all. Let me throw that back. Okay. It's big. But yeah, maybe you guys are making a quilt. I just have to show it off sometime. I'm sorry, you guys. That took a lot of work. That took like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of back-breaking work. So I still show it off even though it's been over a year. Anyway, I need to finish up my other ones. But yeah, no, that's the thing though. I'm just giving you examples though, and plus showing off. I do have Leo rising after all. So I gotta show off my crafty my crafty things. So yeah, no, I really do feel like you guys are you're creating something though, and it's like you're known for that. And again, I think for some of you this may be a book or some sort of class or maybe something along those lines. With the High Priestess, of course, you can be seen as someone who's quite intuitive, quite psychic, quite in touch with something on the other side, right? And yeah, I feel like this is a card of mystery. And maybe some people are looking at you like, oh man, it's like that, what I get from in my head is that Madonna, Who's That Girl? There was a movie when I was a little girl I loved to watch. I was very little when that came out, probably. Or I might have not even been born when that came out. It might have been that my mom still watched it when I was little, because I was born in the mid-'80s. But yeah, anyways, who's that girl? You may not be a girl, by the way. You don't have to be. But I just kind of get that vibe. And this can talk about having an enigmatic aura, like where you just draw people in. And in a way, it's kind of like, the other version of the Hierophant in some way. It's like you kind of hold the secrets, or there's something mysterious or knowledgeable, intuitively knowledgeable about you. And this is often, people finding you to be very self-attuned. The other thing I want to say is that you may be really pushing off things that are not in your interest. So the Four of Cups, I know that often it's displayed as a card of apathy, and sometimes it's kind of even like, oh, like your shit, as I say. Kind of like, oh, doesn't matter, I'm just not going to do anything. No, you're not like that. This feels as if you're just kind of tuning out to things that are not really interesting for you. Like, you're not entertaining. The other thing, too, is I do feel like that you guys are focused on really pursuing something you've already been involved in, or that's already been on your heart or mind in some way. I really don't feel, there may be a period of quietness. Maybe some people might think that you're uninterested in them because you're busy doing other things. Especially if you are a bit quiet, you're more focused on your other things. Some people in your life may perceive you as ignoring them, or just saying, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. They may perceive you as ignoring them, or not really sure what you're about, like what's going on here. But at the same time, I think it's because you're working a lot, or you're very much busy in your life. You know what I mean? Now, by the way, the Judgment card, does, that's over here. That does actually signify a teacher, by the way. So I thought I'd mention that. That can be a signification for a teacher. But usually it's like a person who has a full life and is, quite, there may be more of a balance. There may be, one thing I will say is that I feel like during certain parts of the year, you might be a little bit more inward because you are focused on the things that really light you up. And so therefore, it might be that you pull back a little bit. That could be like the creative stage where you're really pouring yourself into something. And then suddenly you are more ready to give and you're a little bit more balanced later on. That's another thing I'm perhaps getting here too. But this can be, you creating certain decisions and turning over new leaves in your life, okay? And usually this talks about balance being restored and feeling as if there's a breakthrough. So that's one thing I'm going to say, is that there could be certain breakthroughs that you're making. Patience here is also, we talked about that a little bit, I guess. Whoa, we got the Empress. Dang. Very beautiful. I wonder if some of you might color your hair red this year. Or do something like that. Or put warm tones in. Warm tones. Wow. Okay, yes. Okay, so we do have the Hermit. There can be a little bit of reclusiveness that you are seeing. Okay, for some people you're just moving away from them because you're not interested in their drama or their problems, okay? So for some people in your life that were there last year, as an example, it's like you're not going to be there for them this year because you're going to be busy doing your own thing. It's not a negative thing, I feel, here in this sense. Now, of course, the Hermit to me denotes wisdom and inner wisdom as well. And so that can, once again, pointing to that idea of taking some time out, not always being readily available, again, because you might be busy working on certain things or doing certain things in your life. But this is it's a little bit of a reclusive energy, okay? But this can also be the card of like a person who teaches and guides as well. And the other thing I want to say is that, of course, the Hermit tends to be non-judgmental, very understanding, intuitive, and wise. So I would say that I can't believe you got all major arcana. To be honest, there's patience here, definitely, with the Strength card. So in some ways too, it's like you are patient yet getting results. I do feel like that there is an increased activity that people see you acting under, but there's also that sense of like abundance there with the Empress. So first of all, I think that you'll be seen in the eyes of those around you as beautiful, as abundant, as fertile, as full of possibility, as somebody who is, like I said, easy on the eyes, and someone who is perhaps loving and motherly. And I really do feel like you're building and creating certain financial rewards in your life. And again, for some of you, this may have been a long time coming. We have the Willow as well, and patience. The Willows are ruled by the planet Saturn, so some of you might be, we could have some Caps here, or people with strong Saturns, or Aquariuses. Some of you might have some beneficial Saturn transits over this year. Like, the ones that are a little bit more supportive. But I want to say, there also could be working with, like, I don't know, food abundance, because I see this harvest picture here. Let me see what it says here in this particular, the Green Witch. I want to see what it says about this harvest card. Yeah, this card symbolizes reaping rewards from what has been sown, bringing forth rebirth and a sense of renewal. And here, it's like people are seeing you have patience that paid off, is one thing I want to say. It's like really, 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 reaping a good harvest. Your efforts are rewarded. And there's potential that's fulfilled in your life. That's what I feel. One second, I just want to see something here. There also could be new approaches to old problems as well. It's something I want to say. And also, like I said, I think that there would be There will be certain opportunities in your life that you're acting upon that really take away certain dissatisfactions that you've had in the past. And it's like you're really acting upon it. But I do feel like so many people in your life, like you have a lot of people around you, honestly, that feel like you're an important aspect of their life. You really do. Like I don't think you guys quite understand perhaps how much you matter to some of the people around you and the people that will come into your life this year, right? Over this course, because I feel like it's like you are inspiring in some way. There's a lot of personal responsibility is what I feel. And people are looking at you as somebody who's personally responsible. Very in your responsibility and your patience are very effective in getting results. It's kind of like you've worked on something for a long time and you really start to reap big rewards. You know what I mean? Or you really start to see things through. Even if you fell out, even if you failed a bit, like I said, it's like they would see you through that and be like, wow, I'm glad they stuck it out, or that, wow, they stuck it out. I can't believe it. Like, that's really cool. You know, that sort of thing. Some of you are really going to be experiencing that. But yeah, you're looking good. Very beautiful and attractive to those around you. Maybe some people don't feel like they get to see you enough, though. Okay, I will admit. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful for you. And I wish you nothing but the best, you guys. Thank you so much for your comments. And thank you so much to Emily again for getting this deck for me. For those of you that do go on my wish list and get me something, it means a lot to me. Thank you. And for those of you that like leave tips up above or donations. But yeah, you can go ahead and get a reading with me if you want on Etsy. That link is in my description box, as well as links to everything else, including all the ways to donate and the, all that stuff. And also, definitely check out my friend Brittany's book. That should be at the top of the description, towards the top. And there's a really nice affirmation book that I want you to check out. But anyways, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you all next time. Have a blessed and beautiful day or night wherever you are. And like I said, see you next time.